about this training?
The training, which was conducted both physically and virtually, featured topics bordering on investigation, casing of operational environment, court trial, effective and professional method of conducting body search and seizures, delivered by facilitators drawn from ICPC, FRSC, and Department for State Services, DSS. That would be all on this segment. Corruption Must Go continues. Stay with us.
If you are just tuning in, this is Corruption Must Go, and our focus is on the role of CSOs in the fight against corruption. CSOs can hold public officials accountable and pressure the state to take action against corruption and implement reforms that can bring about fiscal responsibility in government business. What are the approaches adopted by the CSOs in driving home these anti-corruption messages? We spoke to some members of CSOs, and this is what they have to say.
I think the government has started it by a way of ensuring that even if you go to ICPC website, even their newsletter, you can see now they can tell you the total amount of money that they have recovered and the number of cases that led to that. That kind of data is what send the right signal. And then when you talk about social inclusiveness, the recent asset return from Abuja, you now use for cash transfer program in Nigeria, targeting the poor or the poorest. That's inclusiveness.
We must have all-inclusive governance that is transparent, and where we look at accountability, then we must understand that everybody is a stakeholder, rights to women, to youth, and persons with disability. And presently, where we look at election, which is very, very close, we're looking at fighting corruption, considering the level of moral decadence which has been an issue, and the youth at the forefront. We're looking at not just CSOs holding meetings, just like the representative of the ICPC chairman has said, we should look at strategies to amplify our voices as CSOs to get to the grassroots, which is very important. Because each time we sit here and we discuss, then how well does all of this transcend to the grassroots, which is very, very important. So beyond holding this workshop, we're looking at translating eventual results down to every other person on the street.
You are still watching Corruption Must Go, and our focus is on the role of CSOs in the fight against corruption. The role of CSOs in the enthronement of accountability and probity in the management of the nation's scarce resources cannot be overemphasized. They stimulate dialogue around corruption, carry out corruption prevention campaigns, participate in policy formulation, and monitor the implementation of anti-corruption laws and strategies. How have the CSOs fared in carrying out this sacred obligation? Have their efforts yielded any positive results? Bathsheba Tagoi of Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, is on hand to take us through.
We have cases that were brought to us, corruption-related cases that were brought to the Advocacy and Legal Advice Center, which we forwarded to the ICPC for appropriate action, and I can categorically confirm to you that these cases were resolved. We actually have some that are currently in court. And so for us, that is a level of success. We are very happy with our collaboration with ICPC. The work has been seamless. They've been very supportive of our effort, and they've understood that what we're trying to do is to complement the effort of ICPC and other anti-corruption agencies. Because at the end of the day, we're all working for the betterment of Nigeria as a whole. And another thing that I would rate is so that it might not be a case, but like I said, area of awareness creation and sensitization, being able to reach, leverage on the platform of the ICC. They have officers across the country, they have officers who are always willing and ready, to mobilize and to be there to, have one-on-one interaction with Nigerians in different communities that we meet. And so that has been a success for us, being able to partner with them and leverage on their network and their platforms really, to do all that we need to.
CSO's activities are crucial to the attainment of national anti-corruption reforms. However, their efforts can be undermined by corruption. How are the CSOs able to weather the storm and carry out their anti-corruption engagement effectively despite challenges? Let us hear from Mr. Ode Friday of Accountability Lab.
One very key role CSOs can play in the fight against corruption, which is eating deep into the Nigerian society, is to help citizens understand their role as well, because we see civil society organizations as very key, as the key informants in informing citizens on their role in the active participation in governance processes. If there's a problem in your community that's affecting you in terms of accountability issues, integrity, corruption, in any of these cases that you can find from budgets, projects, contracting processes, we need citizens to be aware of that, of their role. So citizens, civil society organization in its entirety can help bridge that gap to create information which are reliable, which are understandable in simple formats for citizens to understand and engage with government to help fight corruption. I must tell you, it's a tough scenario within the Nigerian context, because you have several civil society organizations springing up almost every day in every part of the country, working on different issues. Like we have seen in a report by Matthew Page some months ago, talks about pro-accountability civil society organization and also pro-government. So sometimes we also we battle as civil society organization to understand who is doing what and who is preferring solutions to corruption issues in terms of accountability. So you find civil society organizations who are there for their own personal gains, for their own personal needs, for their own survival as well. So those are conflicting civil society organizations who also come together in terms of forming a coalition and saying, oh, we are doing ABCD, and giving the public and informing the public, like we mentioned earlier on, in their own pathways. But you have other people who are doing the right thing and also working with anti-corruption agencies like ICPC and ensuring like the right information is going out there, ensuring that people are actively engaging in and participating in the fight against corruption. ICPC is one of our strongest partners. Once you identify with government officials and government organizations, MDAs, who are doing the right thing, who are working for the good of the society to ensure that all of us are beneficiaries of a great democracy which we are working towards. For that, we just want that identification. We work toward identifying with the right people and doing the right thing at all times. There's been huge reports. I must really commend the work of ICPC under the leadership of Professor Bolaji. He's been doing really amazing work, and the partners we've worked with from the education department to the public awareness department, ACAN as well. I think that it's been great partnership, and we've been able to see that part of what we do is the integrity icon, which names and fames public servants who are doing the right thing in public service. And we've seen ICPC also adopt that model with their integrity awards.
The Commission over the years has engaged with different CSOs in order to deal with the issues of corruption as it affects the Nigerian society. What is the outcome of this collaborative effort made by the Commission? Mrs. Esther Okwong of Public Enlightenment and Education Department of ICPC tells us more.
The ICPC recognizes the place of CSOs. They are vital and they are key in the fight against corruption. And so the ICPC since 2007 established what we call the National Anti-Corruption Coalition. It's an initiative under which the Commission relates with CSOs, NGOs, faith-based organizations, and others who are interested and have the objective of combating corruption. The ICPC, after the establishment of the National Anti-Corruption Coalition, went ahead to let NGOs know that there is, a body like this, and we have asked them to come on board in the fight against corruption by first of all registering with the National Anti-Corruption Coalition. When you register with the coalition, you get, get more information about you, and then we carry out what we call vetting. We vet the NGOs to find out if they're actually credible. After which our partnership with them, begins. We have had a situation where there's this initiative of the Commission called Constituency Executive and Project Tracking Initiative. Under this initiative, the Commission has tracked projects nationwide, and we have found members of the NACC very relevant to this initiative. The Commission also has youth education and mobilization programs. We reach out to youths in schools, primary schools, secondary schools, colleges of education, universities, under what we call the anti-corruption vanguard for tertiary institutions, and what we call student anti-corruption clubs for secondary schools. Under this platform, we have found members of the NACC very, very relevant. They carry out sensitization, they reach out to schools, they also print information, education and communication materials, IT materials, and distribute to schools. These are ways, in which the Commission has engaged members of the NACC. The Commission has also reached out to religious leaders nationwide, members, of the religious faith, Christian faith, Islamic faith, and we have found members of the NACC also very relevant in this regard. On their own, members of the NACC go ahead and they carry out programs. The Commission comes in this regard to also aid them. We have had reason to fund some programs organized by members of the NACC. The Commission has also provided resource faculty for some of these programs organized by the NACC. The Commission has also provided IC material, to some members of the NACC that actually need, these materials for their programs. Also, the Commission had also partnered with members of the NACC to carry out grassroots trainings, reaching out to people in the nook and crannies of the nation. These are some of the areas in which the Commission has engaged members of the NACC. We recognize their role, and so we have asked them to come on board in the anti-corruption crusade, and we are doing well in that regard.
Like any other segment of the society, the CSOs are not immune to the adverse effects of corruption. Rather, they are also affected by it. Their role as the watchdog of the society cannot be underestimated. Only a collective action by all and sundry can address this menace of corruption that has retarded our quest for development. That's our package on today's edition. See you again next week. Bye for now.
days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world. What limits you? Nothing. Who defines you? No one. Where can you go? Everywhere. With unlimited super-fast internet access, free Intel to Intel calls, and crystal clear quality conversations, you can do and be whatever you want to be. Intel. Live more.
System feel threatened at the perception of danger, whether real or imagined, giving your body automatic mobilization process known as the fight, flight, or freeze response. This automobilization response or stress is designed to protect your body. When it is working well, it helps you stay focused, energetic, and alert. In an emergency, it spurs you into action to defend yourself. Stress, however, becomes worrisome when it is overwhelming. It can damage your health, your mood, your productivity, relationship, and even your quality of life. Stress is chiefly induced by environmental conditions or stimulus and emotional instability. Work-related stress is the second most commonly reported condition in the self-reported work-related illness. According to research results between 2011 and 2012, an estimated 428,000 workers suffered from work stress. Stress affects different people in different ways, but generally, the chemicals that are released by the body as a result of stress can build up over time and cause various mental and physical symptoms. These include irritability, anger, depression,
Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Lydia Odiji Ochi. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website nta.ng/live and all our social media platforms displayed on the screen for updates. President Muhammadu Buhari has left Abuja for Kigali, Rwanda to attend the 26th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. He was seen off at the airport by his Chief of Staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, FCT Minister Mohammed Musa Bello, Inspector General of Police Usman Alkali Baba, Director General, Department of State Services Yusuf Magaji Bichi, and other senior government officials. While in Kigali, the president is expected to join other leaders to participate in discussions focused on the progress and prosperity of the more than 2 billion people living in the 54 Commonwealth member countries. Under the theme, Delivering a Common Future, Connecting, Innovating, Transforming, the heads of state and government are expected to reaffirm their commitment to upholding the Commonwealth Charter, which focuses on democracy, human rights, the rule of law, as well as economic opportunities and sustainable development. Range of topical issues including post-COVID-19 economic recovery, debt sustainability, climate change, poverty reduction, youth entrepreneurship, and food security will be considered at the high-level engagement. In another development, President Muhammadu Buhari has written to the Senate requesting the confirmation of Mohammed Shehu as Chairman, Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission. This is in line with the provision of Section 154, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. Senators confirmed the appointment of Dr. Haile Longpet for appointment as Resident Electoral Commissioner for the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Senate Committee on INEC, which screened the nominee from Plateau State, described him as qualified for the INEC position.
Of Dr. Haile Gabriel Longpet is hereby confirmed as a Resident Electoral Commissioner in the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and congratulations to him.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has urged the federal government to increase the number of recruits into the service of the various security agencies in the country to further tackle the challenge of insecurity. This came up when Representative Solomon Marin brought to the attention of the House the abduction last Monday of a traditional ruler by bandits in Mangu, Plateau State. The House urged relevant security agencies to ensure the safe release of the monarch and other victims of kidnap. It also resolved to meet with the army and police chiefs as it conducts an investigation on the situation. Meanwhile, the Committee on Electoral Matters has informed the House of the decision by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to extend the period for the continuous voter registration exercise. Theater Commander Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai, Major General Christopher Musa, says the military will continue to advance further into the Sambisa forest and other terrorist enclaves to rescue the remaining Chibok girls and other abductees still in the insurgents' captivity. The theater commander stated this while presenting 2 rescued Chibok schoolgirls with their babies to newsmen at headquarters Theater Command Operation Hadinkai in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Memuna Garba reports.
Sambisa zuwa gaba na dawo ni yar Chibok ne. Da yamma sojoji sun kai yaki. Mu da Boko Haram duka aka gudu maza da mata. Shine na buya a karkashin bishiya. Nace baran sake kwana a jejin nan ba. Zan tafi gurin sojoji su kai ni gurin iyayena.
Hawa Joseph and Mary Dauda are 2 Chibok girls abducted at GGSS Chibok in 2014, recently rescued by the military during separate operations around Bama and Goshe general areas in Borno State on 12th and 14th of this month. The rescued girls, who were aged 14 at the time of their abduction, said they were forcibly married to insurgents, but their husbands were killed during military operations. Theater Commander Operation Hadinkai, Major General Christopher Musa, said the military is putting more efforts to rescue the remaining girls.
We are also conducting operations with the Multinational Joint Task Force to ensure that we take care of the international boundary. All this is in place so that we ensure that we don't give them the insurgents any respite or any hiding place.
During preliminary investigations, and they were said that, who are you? Mentioned their name and part of the Chibok girls. They responded that way, and they were brought back.
General Musa disclosed that over 57,000 terrorists have so far surrendered and warned Boko Haram logistics suppliers to desist from supporting the insurgents. He further warned farmers and children to be careful as there are unexploded ordnances in the bush, saying clearance operations are ongoing for more farming activities to commence. The theater commander said Maiduguri-Domboa Road will soon be reopened with more personnel being trained to clear lots of IEDs planted on the road. From the Military Command and Control Center in Maiduguri, Memuna Garba, NTA News.
In another development, troops of 13 Brigade operating under command of 82 Division, Nigerian Army, on Tuesday, 21st June 2022, intercepted a Toyota Camry car with registration number JAL 492AA, laden with assorted ammunition while en route Utanga village towards Obudu Mountains in Cross River State. Troops deployed at Forward Operating Base Amana attempted to stop the vehicle at their checkpoint, but the driver evaded the check-in and zoomed off. The driver's recalcitrance compelled the troops to open fire on the tires of the vehicle, thereby immobilizing it. A thorough search conducted on the vehicle revealed it was conveying 72 improvised explosive device charges, 121 dynamite liquid, 200 rounds of 7.62 millimeters NATO, and 82 rounds of 7.62 millimeters special ammunition. Other items recovered in the intercepted vehicle are military uniforms and kits. Members of the public are urged to continue to support the troops with credible information that will lead to stemming the tide of insecurity across the country. This is contained in a statement by Director, Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu. Barely 1 week after it distributed medical consumables for treatment of survivors of Owo terror attack, the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA has again distributed food items and other relief materials to 120 households victims of the attack. We'll bring you details of that subsequently. After improving by 24 points, Nigeria has posted her best performance in the Open Budget Survey for Transparency among 120 countries surveyed in 2021. This was revealed at the official launch of the Open Budget Survey 2021 report in Abuja. Leah Katun Babatunde picks it up from here.
The Open Budget Survey (OBS) is the only comparable and independent measure of budget transparency, participation and oversight in the world. The 2021 survey covers 120 countries and uses a questionnaire with 145 scored indicators drawn from international good practices. Presenting the outcome of the report, Senior Program Officer of the International Budget Partnership, Sally Tolbert, said that the transparency score of Nigeria was put at 45 in the 2021 survey, a significant leap from the 21 scored in the 2019 survey, making Nigeria's performance the second highest improvement worldwide.
Monthly reports that we saw released on time in this round is a really good first step in disclosing that information. There can be more done to help better link procurement data and budget data so that civil society groups can actually track procurement processes and see when they're delayed and what's happening because of that.
However, Nigeria needs to maintain and accelerate progress in budget transparency and aim for a score above 61, a view policymakers share.
We have implemented and continue to implement. It remains a work in progress. The Strategic Revenue Growth Initiative. So as you can see, started from SRG I1.0 to 2.0, and actually we're moving on now to 2.1. So it's an incremental process.
Nigeria, they say, remains committed to all the pillars of the public finance management reform agenda, with domestic revenue mobilization at the center. In Abuja, Leah Babatunde, NTA News.
As Nigeria tries to surmount various challenges to MSMEs, which are considered the backbone of the economy, this year attention is being shifted to strengthening MSMEs owned by women. Mutlang Dakok reports that this was stressed as part of activities to mark this year's United Nations MSMEs Day organized by the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency, SMEDAN, in Abuja.
The next 1 week is going to be full of activities to mark this year's MSMEs Day across the world. Nigeria is not going to be left out of the celebration. This year is significant as the MSME subsector is confronted with the impact of the crisis in Ukraine, COVID-19 and climate change.
What each stakeholder from both the private and public sector should do to support MSMEs. We're talking about access to finance, we're talking about access to market, we're talking about access to skills. These are the major challenges faced by MSMEs.
The expectation of SMEDAN is to be able to digitally position MSMEs, especially those owned by women and people with disabilities, to be regionally and globally competitive and to make Nigeria a dominant player in the African Continental Free Trade Agreement.
Next week we'll be in Calabar to implement the Business Membership Organization and Trade Association Conference, and that will be 100% women-led enterprises. The upper week too, we will be in Lagos, in Katsina, and Abuja to equally look at those living with disabilities.
The MSMEs Week seeks to draw the attention of governments and stakeholders to poor infrastructure, lack of access to finance, multiplicity of taxes, among other challenges, and to proffer lasting solutions. In Abuja, Muplang Bakok, NTA News.
150 widows are to smile home as the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs concludes plans to commemorate the 2022 International Widows' Day. Ngozi Technical reports that the ministry is taking this year's celebration to rural community of Dutsen and Alhaji in Buhari Area Council of the FCT.
International Widows' Day, an annual event observed 23rd June to bring to the global scene issues pertaining to the welfare of widows. Outlining activities to mark the day, the Acting Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, Idris Mohammed, explained that in addition to empowering 150 widows, the ministry will continue to synergize with relevant stakeholders in mobilizing resources to address the challenges confronting widows.
In our society today, widows are denied their inheritance, land rights, eviction from their homes, ostracized, stigmatized, and abused and discriminated against.
The NGOs and civil society are going to work with the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs to change the invisible widow problem to a visible women widow problem to policy makers.
The theme, Invisible Women, Invisible Problems, highlights the obscurity of these unseen members of the society and their problems to the general public, especially policy makers. In Abuja, Ngozi Technical, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide. It's now time to join Kende in Lagos for more reports. Kende, it's over to you.
Hello, Lydia, and a warm welcome to Lagos. The Admiralty University, sited in Delta State, has recently got 12 of its courses accredited by the National University Commission. Tessie Koka reports that it is the first external outing of the Admiralty University presenting on its currently operated 12 courses to the National University Commission and achieved 100% accreditation.
The Admiralty University of Nigeria, ADO, was established in Iguzo, Ogwashuku, Delta State by the Nigerian Navy Holdings 2017 in order to ensure the quality of academic programs as a prerequisite of the National University Commission carried out accreditation exercise on the university facilities to measure the strength of its programs, which include cybersecurity, forensic science, computer science, software engineering, business studies, biology and economics. Others are English language, accounting, international relations and tourism studies. The Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Paul Omojo Omaji, and his management team are happy of the recent feat.
On the 14th of April this year, the National University Commission informed the university that all our programs were accredited. All of them were accredited. We would like to say that this sub-grade, what we call A+ performance, has meant that the university is gradually taking its place in the community of university, not just in Nigeria, but across the world.
It is worthy of note that the Ado University, in its efforts to educating luminary leaders, has attracted Norway's far and wide as one of its 400-level students of cybersecurity, Moses Ape, was crowned as the overall best Nigerian students in academic excellence category by Oni of Ife Oba Adeyeye Enito. In the 4 years of its operation, the Admiralty University will be holding its first convocation ceremony in November 2022. In Asaba, Tessie Koka, NTA News.
A book that provides opportunities for further studies of the life and times of Ambassador Segun Olushola as a cultural messiah and an apostle of peace has been unveiled in Lagos. Annie Daniels has details.
The 136-page book is titled Insider's Story. It is divided into 8 chapters. The publication chronicles Ambassador Olusegun Olushola's eventful life, from cradle to his passing on exactly 10 years ago.
You know, culturally, Nigeria is a profound. It's known over the years to be the forefront of not just the refugee situation, but also culture, art, and drama in Nigeria.
Little wonder, those whose lives Ambassador Olusegun Olushola touched positively have come to be a part of the book.
Great Ambassador Olushola knew that in the absence of peace, Africa and indeed the whole world will continue to live in crisis.
When we were in the Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation, he produced a program on the prisons, which brought him into limelight. The moral of our conversation today is to reduce and desist from every and any action that has the capacity to displace people, to cause a refugee crisis to ensue.
When we all become more concerned, not just on the media, not in the papers, but practically.
The author, Wole Adediran, was Ambassador Olushola's special assistant. His closeness and sincerity to the late broadcaster and diplomat, who was fondly referred to as Baba, earned him his trust and confidence.
The book has so many reasons. It's about you that is intervening. It's about everybody, not about Olusola alone. How? Are you sincere? What is your mission? Are you courageous?
Ambassador Olusegun Olushola's legacies have remained a source of encouragement and support to people the world over. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
And that's a contribution from Lagos. But do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and all the social media handles displayed on your screen. We'll take a short break now. When we return, Amina in Sokoto has the next set of reports.
The Nigerian aviation sector is rapidly growing with the construction of new international airport terminals in several regions of the country. The new Murtala Mohammed International Airport has an estimated passenger increase of 30 million annually and 15 million for Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Malam Aminu Kano International Airport is also expected to open new frontiers for the region with more travel capacity for the annual Hajj, while the new Akanu Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, avails more business opportunities connecting the industrial cities in the region to the world. These new terminals beat world-class standards with enabling infrastructure that aid air travel, tourism, and the eventual growth of the country's GDP.
Open up commerce and of course link us to international societies.
People from international community will come here to do business, and then that will bring in more revenue to the states.
Now, distances can be seamlessly covered as Nigeria keeps raising its bar to suit global infrastructure standards.
The Blueprint Newspaper Limited presents 2021 Blueprint Annual Public Lectures and Impact Series and Awards with the theme 2023 Politics, National Security and Nigeria's Stability. Venue, International Conference Center, Abuja. Date, Thursday, June 23rd, 2022. Time, 10 a.m. Special guest of honor, Alhaji Mema Labuni, Executive Governor of Yobe State. Guest speaker, Lieutenant General Abdurrahman Dambazo, retired. Royal Father of the Day, His Royal Highness Sarkin Sudan of Kontagora, Alhaji Muhammadu Baramu Asu II. Chief Host, Muhammad Musa Bello, Minister, FCT. and Alhaji Muhammad Idris Malagi, Blueprint Newspapers Chairman and Publisher. The recipients are politicians, governors, legislators, global brand ambassadors, security personnel, sports administrators, and many others. Attendance is strictly by invitation. Blueprint Newspaper, for truth and justice. Signed, Management.
Says that the Buhari-led administration has made remarkable progress,
like Lafia Transmission Station nearing completion.
Africa does not need charity, but partnerships that will promote the adequate investment
with the cooperation of all.
Sharing firsthand the experiences of reporters on the field as they bring to you weekly the beauty of Nigeria's diverse culture and the economic potentials therein. The Correspondence, development through the eye of the grassroots, showing every Monday at 1:30 p.m. on the network service of the NTA, with a repeat broadcast on NTA News 24 and NTA International. Join us.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to the STV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Preview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk, app for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Thank you for staying. Nationwide continues in Abuja, hoping to join Amina and Kaduna subsequently. The National Industrial Court sitting in Abuja has adjourned to the 28th of June 2022 for hearing of the suit seeking increase in salaries and allowances of judicial officers in the country. The suit, filed by a senior advocate of Nigeria, Sebastian Horn, has the Attorney General of the Federation, National Judicial Council, the National Assembly and Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission as defendants. On resumption of trial, counsel to the plaintiff urged the court to commence the trial, but counsel to the first and fourth defendants sought for adjournment to enable them file their processes and explore out-of-court settlement.
The Attorney General and Minister of Justice also ready. The only party that has not shown commitment or seriousness is the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission. And one cannot explain why, but it's all right. The court of law does not wait for any of the parties.
From NJC's perspective, it is an issue that we believe that the executives ought to have resolved without having to resort to this. Equally from the part of the legislature, because the judiciary is the last hope of the common man.
Justice Osatohamwen Obaseki Osagaye informed parties that the court will commence sitting at 1 p.m. on the adjourned date. President Muhammadu Buhari felicitates with marketing and strategic management expert Otumba Bims, the fellow of Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria (CIBN) and National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, among others. He charges the new chairman to deploy his wealth of experience garnered over decades to take Odua Group to higher heights and justify the not giving him by the board of directors. The president extends his congratulations to the immediate and extended Ashiru family, as well as to their friends and well-wishers. Now let's join Dibabari in our Port Harcourt Network Center for the latest from that zone. Hello, Dibabari.
Nigeria, like most developing countries, contend with widespread unemployment, which has played many dysfunctional roles in the society. Chileberoya in this report takes a look at increasing rates of unemployment and what could be done to change the narrative.
According to the International Labour Organization, ILO, unemployment is a concept used to capture people in the working age population who are willing to work but are unable to get a job.
You set out from your house in the morning not knowing where you're going to. You're just having that hope, that belief that when you go out, you'll find something.
There's also a question of the policy choices you make. It's just a demonstration of the faith that people have in your economy and how productive it is and the quality of goods and services you are producing in the country.
Society watchers say some of the measures needed to address the problem could be achieved by diversification of the economic base, infrastructural development. Others are education reforms, investment in agriculture, and reformation of the informal sector. It is hoped that relevant authorities would act swiftly to tackle this problem. In Port Harcourt, Chidiebere Onya, NTA News.
To reduce maternal and infant mortality rates to its minimum in Akwa Ibom State, pregnant women have been enlightened on the importance of antenatal care as a prerequisite to healthy pregnancies and child health. And Medium More reports that delivery packs were distributed to pregnant women across 31 local government areas of Akwa Ibom State.
Pregnancy is a positive experience for all women, hence encouraging a healthy lifestyle during and after pregnancy is pertinent to reduce mortality rate in the society. Research shows that for every 1,000 births, Akwa Ibom State records 42 infant morbidity and maternal mortalities.
It is very important that we know that this really is a reflection that this child is also doing. This project, this is investment, is a sustained intervention aimed at fostering the responsible care of our women and putting growth of childbearing in Akwa Ibom State.
Beneficiaries received with joy delivery packs courtesy the Akwa Ibom State government.
What is inside this bag is everything you need to give birth to your child. Like once you give birth to your child, everything you need is inside here.
I want to say a big thank you to the Almighty God for giving me this opportunity to be a mother.
City Ferep, over 2,827 expectant mothers have benefited from the program, and this is the 10th edition. The
ever-busy ancient city of Onitsha is a commercial and other purposes. To upscale its road network, the construction of a 1.6-kilometer long second Niger bridge, including a 10.3-kilometer highway furnished with other infrastructure, has been in motion by the federal government. This project will ease congestion on the existing 56-year-old Onitsha bridge and boost the economic capacity of the state as it easily connects to other parts of the country. The completion of the world-class second Niger bridge Onitsha will be one of the many proud moments of the state, its people, Nigerians, and foreign investors. Onitsha, which hosts the largest market in Africa, is geared up to boast of an impressive road network. Once again, these moments are made alive by the federal government, and it is deserving of all the applause.
Now, what could make someone set out on a journey and not get to his or her destination? Now, imagine the victim who cannot reach out to these responders, who doesn't even have the phone to reach out. Hello, thank you very much for joining us on platform. I'm Ruth Agwe.
The girl, especially if the girl is a minor, she's not yet 18 years. If she gets pregnant, realize that such girl is sent out of school and the boy is left in school.
Just park to pick the call.
So how much sensitization is the FRS?
I don't agree. A lot of people are just deaf.
The broadcast media ecosystem is dynamic and requires continuous training for practitioners to perform optimally. NTA Television College, JOS, invites relevant officers to the following specially packaged training programs. Intermediate Online News Reporting Skills, date 13th July to 5th August 2022, 4 weeks. Sports Coverage and Reporting Skills in the Mass Media, date 13th July to 22nd July 2022, 2 weeks. Basic Camera Operation Techniques, date 1st August to 26th August 2022, 4 weeks. Advanced Broadcast Accounting and Auditing. Date 15th August to 9th September 2022. 4 weeks. Transmitter Operations and Maintenance. Date 22nd August to 26th August 2022. 1 week. Workforce Intelligence. Key to Organizational Effectiveness and Efficiency. Date 5th September to 16th September 2022. 2 weeks. The course fee for 1 week courses is 100,000 naira per participant. The fee for 2 weeks courses is 150,000 naira, while the course fee for 4 weeks courses is 180,000 naira only, accommodation inclusive. The venue for all courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA Television College near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos. For more inquiries, please call 0803-079-5335 or 0806-9809-807. NTA TV College Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
Thank you for joining us again once more in Abuja. Going on now, if all things went as planned, the ongoing industrial action by Academic Staff Union of Universities may soon be laid to rest. Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige says government is calling for a meeting with all stakeholders to further iron out the grey areas, if any. Briefing the press at the Presidential Villa in Abuja after the Federal Executive Council meeting, the minister says it is untrue that no one is talking to the union, stressing that the Salaries and Wages Commission, NITDA, and the union are currently working on the right payment platform, which will be useful to all the unions. As political activities heat up ahead of the 2023 general elections, the prevalence of substitution of candidates by political parties has become a major source of concern. Guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria noted that, although the practice is not in violation of the Electoral Act, some politicians take undue advantage of the provisions in the Act. Abdusalam Jubril reports.
A jovial atmosphere there as discussants deliberated on the issue of substitution of candidates in the build-up to the 2023 general elections. Opinions vary on the concept of substitution as they identify political and ethno-religious considerations to be responsible for this not-so-new phenomenon in Nigeria's electioneering process.
That window is there. As long as you do so, there's absolutely nothing wrong. The problem will come on two occasions. One, if you try to go outside of that window. If it's a day later, sorry. I think it's the 15th of July for presidential candidates and 12th of August for governorship candidates.
The electoral law has provision for you to change your candidate, that if the candidates that you have submitted to INEC now says I'm withdrawing for whatever reasons, all INEC wants you to do is to, within the time limit, like I've said, for the presidential, maybe by the end of September, for the governorship by 15th July.
Former Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Kogi State, Abdullahi Haruna, decried the trend, calling for honesty and openness on the part of politicians towards ensuring transparency in the electoral process.
This situation we have today is a peculiar Nigerian situation because the provisions for substitution are meant for substitution in actual circumstances.
The guest also harped on internal party democracy, adequate funding of political parties, and mitigating money politics towards enhancing Nigeria's political process. In Abuja, Abdul Salam Jubril.
The clamor for an extension of continuous voter registration by Independent National Electoral Commission to enable more eligible Nigerians to register has continued to heighten in Calabar, the Cross River State capital, as most eligible voters are making frantic efforts to get registered, but to no avail. In an interaction with correspondent Maureen Leo Ajam, the electorate appealed for the extension of the exercise and the decentralization of the registration centers to the ward level for ease of registration.
Although the Federal High Court in Abuja has stopped the Independent National Electoral Commission from ending voter registration on 30th June 2022, many eligible Nigerians in Cross River State are clamoring for extension and effective strategies to get people registered. They note that accessing the various services of either change of voting point, loss of PVC after online registration are still cumbersome.
Last time I applied for a transfer at that Marian office, but yet up till now I'm yet to get my voters card transferred to Promotional because this wasn't the place I registered.
To collect some is a problem, and they did not start early.
I did my registration online, so they gave me they sent me a message and email yesterday that I should go to Mariam, which I went there now and they are not there, and that is a whole lot of stress for me.
Others are calling for the decentralization of registration units to the ward level.
INEC should open some other points for this registration.
Efforts to speak with the Cross River State resident electoral commissioner were not successful. In Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajong, NTA News.
Women and youths as agents of change now have a veritable tool for creating new climate economy for Nigeria and empower themselves. This comes to the release of the nationally determined contributions document on climate action for a safer future. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim has the details.
10 years anniversary celebration of the language channel opened opportunities for partnerships, sponsorship and new friendship. The Sahad management were one of those operating behind the scene, and the NTA is not taking it for granted.
The language channel forum is a very veritable platform, and the advantage is that we are 3 in 1. We broadcast in Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, so we cover the country. So it is. So we really want to continue with that partnership and that good gesture. And we have some personality profile program that we feel the chairman and even you can to help us to feature in, because you have a story to tell. You come up as role models.
And by the grace of God, and continue full support.
The thank you to offers a fresh opportunity of discussion on how mentorship of young minds through personalities piloting the affairs of the investment who by themselves are youths could feature on language channels, stating that the moment in our national life requires such. NTA News.
That was Ikechukwu Dukwe's report as the languages management paid a courtesy visit to one of Nigeria's leading shopping mall, the Sahad stores, where critical issues of youth modeling were discussed. Now back to the earlier story, which I promoted. Women and youths as agents of change now have a veritable tool for creating new climate economy for Nigeria to empower themselves. And this comes with the release of the nationally determined contributions document on climate action for a safer future. We'll now take Salwa Khalil Ibrahim's report.
Human action have continued to impact negatively on the environment, and women and youth are said to be mostly affected.
Young people are not only victims of climate change, they are also valuable contributors to climate action. They are agents of change, entrepreneurs and innovators. To this end, we must take action now to prevent further damage to the planet and encourage restoration and rejuvenation.
Here, young Nigerian environment advocates are given a better front to right the wrongs of humanity on the climate, to take charge towards a sustainable environmental practices.
We aim at recruiting and equipping change agents and youth champions on climate change,
so that the youth clearly understand the importance of climate change and the need to actually reduce the greenhouse gas emissions.
And what I can do to help is use social media as a platform to help push the idea to stop global warming and just help my peers become future leaders.
The new National Determined Contributions document is translated into 3 major languages to reach rural communities. Salwa Khalil, NTA News.
The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Adamu, says the party's drive for more women participation in politics is top on the policies of the National Working Committee. While addressing a women advocacy group at the party's national secretariat, the chairman challenged them to play their role as change agents of the progressives' agenda. Salihu Gwanara reports.
The Permanent Voters Card, PVC, a key to the ballot through which citizens perform their civic role of recruiting political leaders. The importance of the PVC in a democratic society and in a nation like Nigeria that is getting prepared for another general elections inform this advocacy rally to the APC National Secretariat.
Go and register and obtain your PVC. Yes. And don't give it to anybody, don't sell it. With the election, we have come to realize that your vote counts.
Do the best you can. Yes. Promote women, yes, because you are disadvantaged over time in the ages. There's nothing wrong in the advocacy. But also spare a word or two for your partners, for your partner.
The 774 local governments in Nigeria are the target, even as they canvass for consideration for more women as running mates for executive elective positions.
We should have a woman as a vice president. I want to tell you that we have more than capable women that can fit in as the vice president of this country.
The Constitution says that for you to step forward and request to compete in any competition, there's no discrimination as to gender.
They presented a document containing their demands to the national chairman, expressing their hope of favorable response and actions. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
The Federal High Court sitting in Yola has adjourned to 29th of June 2022 a suit filed by Nuhu Ribadu challenging the outcome of the All Progressives Congress governorship primary. Hearing the matter could not commence due to lack of service of the court processes on 2 out of the 3 respondents. Usman Mukhtar reports.
The case was filed before the court by Nuhu Ribadu, challenging the outcome of governorship primary election of the All Progressives Congress that has the APC as the first defendant, Senator Aisha Binani second, and INEC as the third defendant. Justice Abdulaziz Anka, while mentioning the case for hearing, adjourned the case to the 29th June 2022 after counsel to the plaintiff filed a motion expertise seeking for the leave to serve the second defendant, Senator Aisha Binani, by substituting means of service, and the order was granted by the court, and to also place all the processes at the home address of the second defendant and the court notice board of the Federal High Court, Yola.
And under the law, anybody that is brought to court must be served with the court processes. So what we did now is to secure the court's order to ensure that the processes are placed in residence. So that's what we've done today.
It could be recalled that on May 26, 2022, the All Progressives Congress conducted governorship primary election in Adamawa State with Senator Aisha Binani emerging the standard bearer of the party with 430 votes, while Nuhu Ribadu came second with 288 votes. In Yola, Usman Mukhtar, NTA News.
Although successes have been recorded in the war against insurgency in the northeast with internally displaced persons returning to their ancestral homes, some of the IDPs who decided to make Gombe their permanent home are grappling with skyrocketing house rent. Balgum Samari in this report takes a look at this and other challenges being faced by this category of IDPs.
People forced to flee their homes, particularly in situations of armed conflicts, are generally exposed to increased vulnerability in a number of areas. Displaced persons suffer significant rates of mortality than the general population. They also remain at high risk of physical attacks, sexual assault and adoption, and frequently derive of adequate shelter, food and health service. To this end, over 40,000 displaced persons from Borno, Yobe and Adamawa states living in Gombe State are faced with numerous challenges, calling on government, both federal and state, to look into their situation.
Muna da damuwa wasu 'yan uwanmu IDP suna gidajen haya
We have numerous challenges. Some of us are living in uncompleted building due to non-payment of house rent.
Gaskiya dai gwamnati ya kamata ta taimake mu a halin da muke ciki yanzu.
We appeal to government at all levels to intervene in the situation we are in. Some of us are graduate and have nothing doing.
Garuruwan mu mun gagara mu karasa saboda babu abun da zamu ci.
Matan muna bukatan tallafi.
Women are in need of assistance to do business. Our children are out of school.
Tallafi an manta da mu gaba daya.
The overwhelming majority of internally displaced persons are women and children who are often at the risk of abuse of their basic rights. Balgum Samari, NTA News.
Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Niger State Chapter, is demanding that justice prevail over the killing of a staff of one of its members, the 17-year-old Yusuf Umar, in the course of dispensing premium motor spirit to customers. Musa Mikel, who is following the case, was at a press conference convened by the association and now reports.
Following the incident that led to the death of an attendant of a popular petroleum product outlet in the heart of Mina Metropolis, the independent petroleum marketers have resolved to close all fuel stations in Mina Metropolis to protest the incident. The incident was the outcome of argument between some personnel of the 013 Quick Response Force of the Nigerian Air Force and staff of a popular petroleum product outlet.
Justice must be done. This is the second time this kind of issue happened. They must compensate that family.
The family of the deceased, their condition will be for the relevant authorities to ensure justice is served.
It's a great loss to the family. We are soliciting for justice.
In Mina, Musa Mikael, NTA News.
We now take another break before we conclude the news.
The Nigerian aviation sector is rapidly growing with the construction of new international airport terminals in several regions of the country. The new Murtala Mohammed International Airport has an estimated passenger increase of 30 million annually and 15 million for Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Malam Aminu Kano International Airport is also expected to open new frontiers for the region with more travel capacity for the annual Hajj, while the new Akanu Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, avails more business opportunities connecting the industrial cities in the region to the world. These new terminals beat world-class standards with enabling infrastructure that aid air travel, tourism, and the eventual growth of the country's GDP.
Open up commerce and of course link us to international societies.
People from international community will come here to do business, and then that will bring in more revenue to the states.
Now, distances can be seamlessly covered as Nigeria keeps raising its bar to suit global infrastructure standards.
The Blueprint Newspaper Limited presents 2021 Blueprint Annual Public Lectures and Impact Series and Awards with the theme 2023 Politics, National Security and Nigeria's Stability. Venue, International Conference Center, Abuja. Date, Thursday, June 23rd, 2022. Time, 10 a.m. Special guest of honor, Alhaji Mai Malabuni, Executive Governor of Yobe State. Guest speaker, Lieutenant General Abdurrahman Dambazo, retired. Royal Father of the Day, His Royal Highness Sarkin Sudan of Kontagora, Alhaji Muhammadu Barao Muazu II. Chief host, Muhammad Musa Bello, Minister, FCT. And Alhaji Muhammad Idris Malagi, Blueprint Newspaper's chairman and publisher. The recipients are politicians, governors, legislators, global brand ambassadors, security personnel, sports administrators, and many others. Attendance is strictly by invitation. Blueprint Newspaper, for truth and justice. Signed, Management.
Thanks for staying with us. Barely 1 week after it distributed medical consumables for treatment of survivors of Owo terror attack, the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA has again distributed food items and other relief materials to 120 households of victims of the attack. Kayode Olorundare reports.
The food items distributed include 120 bags of 10 kg of rice, the same quantity of beans and maize, and 25 kegs of palm oil. The non-food items include 300 pieces of towels, 400 pieces of wasp print, 300 pieces of Guinea brocade, 50 cartons of toilet soap, among others. Delivering the materials on behalf of NEMA DG, Here, Commodore Edward Adedogun said a suitable date will be set aside to deliver the relief materials directly to the affected households.
Initially, we were able to distribute some medical supplies to the 4 hospitals where the injured were taken to. It's not about handing over relief items. It's about asking God to comfort the people that are bereaved.
Receiving the items on behalf of the Catholic Bishop of Ondo Diocese for the victims, Reverend Father Andrew Abayomi commended NEMA for rising to the occasion.
We've already seen the materials, and on the part of us not bringing the beneficiaries, it is because many of them are even still in the hospitals, and those already discharged, they still go for their daily checkup.
The team was also at the palace of Olowo of Owo, Oba Ajibade Ogoye, who lauded NEMA for coming to the rescue of the victims in line with their core mandate.
I believe the beneficiaries will have hope when you distribute whatever you must have brought to them.
The team had earlier paid a condolence visit to Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu to commiserate with him on the terror attack and promised not to relent in their efforts at rising to emergency situations. From Owo, Kayode Olorundare, NTA News.
Let's now join Kenema Godike for sports update.
The newly elected members of the Nigeria Athletes Commission, led by an Olympian and former national basketball player Olumide Oyedeji, has pledged to protect the rights of athletes against all forms of abuse, including doping, in order to move the sector forward. Oyedeji, who was elected unopposed at the end of a